table for this so we can eat. Everybody is aware of.
Tina Cole said Chris Rock could play John.
Wow. Everybody's aware that Chris Rock has been slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars on Sunday. Live television, observed around the world. But I think the angle that we want to take around this is, I think everybody, well, we can argue.
Every angle.
We can argue. Let's take a poll. Does anybody think Will Smith was his reaction to the joke justified?
No.
All right. Neil?
One no.
I can't hear you, Neil.
Was it justified? Hell no.
All right. Ra?
Straight no chaser the podcast.
We got dead air. We got dead air.
A yes or no. If I have to give a yes or no, we're going to unpack this. I would say no. It was not justified.
All right.
No.
Perfect. So, I agree. I don't think it was justified. Do I think the reaction was warranted? And that is where we can kind of get into the dialogue, and we can also get into the dialogue around the why. Just to kind of provide a little bit of history here, in 2016, Chris Rock hosted the Oscars, and this was a time when a lot of Black prominent actors were trying to sit out. And, they were soliciting people to do certain things and say, Chris Rock, you should pull out as well, to boycott the Oscars because Oscars were so white. And on stage, Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith that said, she wasn't, joining the Oscars. Say what?
You want me to play that joke?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Hold on a second, y'all. Give me a second now.
While Ross pulling it up, you'll see, his commentary around this experience, which is a precursor to a number of different events.
Jada went mad and Will went mad. Everybody went mad. It's quite like Jada got mad. Jada says she's not coming, protesting. I'm like, is she on a TV show? Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
I mean, that's funny, and then to kind of layer on this, I think with Will Smith, we all have. They're very public. The red table talk, we talked about the whole August Alsina situation, the entanglement that everybody knows. When you hear that word, entanglement is associated with Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina. Nobody else says that and applies that in regular vernacular. So, let's unpack that. How do you guys feel about, his reaction? I believe it's an overcorrection, but let's dig into this slap and his behavior, because I think it's highly disrespectful and I think he overreacted.
All right. So I believe that there's a space for him to be right and wrong at the same time.
There you go.
I believe that, everyone was on this. Well, Will laughed at the joke and that's why he was wrong. He shouldn't have got up. I believe that he has a right to laugh at a joke. And then in a split second, change his mind to be like, nah, that wasn't funny. And feel like he needed to do something about it. I just think what he did about it was dead wrong. And it sends the wrong message. I mean, we could talk about the whole respectability politics later because I'm irked when people say that. But it was I don't think it was the right thing to do. I don't think it was the right time to do it. And I think there's some stuff that, when people jump on that, well, he was defending his wife. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that was about defending Jada.
It absolutely was not about defending Jada.
At all. And I think it's easy for people to say it was about defending Jada because now if you could wrap that up into, well, he was defending his woman, it justifies what he did.
Right.
Well, I think it's not even his woman. I think Black women, and this might hurt some feelings a little. I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I'm just trying to point out what I believe is happening here. I think black women wanted a champion, and Black women were saying he was protecting a Black woman. Unfortunately, Black women, this had nothing to do with y'all. Zero. Zilch. Nada.
Well, when we say that, help them. So this is what we really need to get into. Like, why is that not what Will Smith did was dishonorable.
Yes.
Why is that a problem? You know what I'm saying? Why is it like they hear protect black women? That ain't it. That had nothing to do with him. But why do you say that, KG?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, I think his black woman should have protected him from himself, right? By saying, dude, relax. But what he did was all about him. That was for him, by him, with him. So I haven't read his book, but everybody's had enough time to kind of do their research and read up on this guy and what's working on in his mind, what's all this stuff is happening. So apparently in his book, in the very first chapter, he says very publicly how he has lived his life as a coward. And part of the reason he has done so, what kind of this played out is his dad beat his mom, and he saw this kind of happening throughout his entire life. And so he's always tried to, well, as of late, he's tried to find, places to really regain his manhood. And if you couple that with the things that his wife has said about him publicly, that he doesn't please her sexually, she did it on Oprah, apparently.
Okay. All right.
She has, had a public engagement with her son's best friend, a sexual relationship with the young man.
Woo!
That he seems to be okay with. And now, Chris Rock makes a joke. On the surface, people are saying, inappropriate joke for sure, right? I had no idea she had a condition, alopecia.
Exactly.
And that doesn't make it right that he said the joke, but I think his statement, his reaction was overdone. So I'll say that because Will Smith, that was an ego thing. I'm gonna make myself feel good. I'm not going to be a coward. I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to slap the hell out of the person who said this joke. So this wasn't about Chris. Chris was everybody. It was August Alsina, everybody else, Tupac. It was all the people lined up in one that he wanted to slap the shit out of. For this
it was terrible. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
I do think for people who experience being made fun of on the regular and being made the butt of jokes on the regular, that is something that could build up over time, and it may not come out in the most productive way. This isn't. I do not believe any critique of what he did is about respectability politics. I don't believe about any critique about what he did is about how you look in front of white folk. I remove them from my entire just analysis of what happened. Okay. Remove the white folk like they didn't even exist, like they wasn't there.
Okay.
I know that we live in a world of consequences, and it's easy for a multimillionaire to get up there and slap somebody and potentially not have to deal with those consequences than if I'm picked on and I slap somebody.
Well, there was no repercussion for him immediately.
There was no repercussion for him, but I bet you there'd be repercussion for me.
All of us.
You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want a message getting out there that this is how you protect yourself.
Well, at this point, there's repercussions. I mean, in college, we all had a whole different experience. But
because we riding around in minivans pulling out.
Hey.
But what I'm saying is, but I also, when I was working at the school, I was also kicking students out because they was having moments like that.
Right. They
felt that they needed to, and now you done spent $30,000, and because you slapped somebody, you done wasted 30 G's. I put you out, but I kept your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't, like, it's good for people who sit behind television screens and keyboards to be like, yeah, he should have did that. But if you was in that same situation, or a situation similar, and you was facing possibly losing stuff, I believe there needs to be a bigger picture.
This is what's been driving me crazy about this whole thing. Like, everybody is projecting how they would act or whatever the case is. This was a very unique situation.
Yes.
And I'm not about like, what white people think or whatever the case is, but there's a certain way that men should conduct themselves. What a lot of people don't understand is like behavior between men is kind of like how we navigate things without violence. There's a reason that things work the way that they do between actual dudes, men, that is trying to avert any kind of issue. And that's why we got like respect between each other and whatnot like that. When that breaks down, things get violent, it can go left, it all gets ugly. And what I'm saying is, I have no doubt that, Jada Pinkett might have really felt some kind of way I have no doubt that Will wanted to protect her or whatever the case is. I don't think it's about Jada whatsoever. I agree. It's all about Will. But there was a way that he could have done that. If it comes out that he approached Chris Rock and said, stop talking about Jada, that's totally different. You know what I'm saying? If Jada had said something to Chris Rock, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's certain mitigating circumstances, but that was not the case. Chris Rock was sitting there with his hands literally behind his back. You know what I'm saying? With a smile on his face.
Though. He ate the slap.
He did.
I don't think he really connected for real. If you look at, I've broken this down frame by frame. He didn't really connect. He kind of ducked it a little bit.
He stuck that chin out.
He leaned into it.
Because he thought he was coming up to whisper something to him.
He was like, huh?
So, let me ask you this. Did he sneak Chris Rock? Was that a sneak push?
Yes. Yeah.
Dishonorable. Totally. That's
because no one thought that he was capable of this behavior now in public. And so, this dude was a defenseless guy.
Right. That's terrible, man.
I'm not condoning this dude, Chris Rock. I think, to Rob's point, he was both right and wrong. I think Chris Rock
he was dead wrong. He was wrong in every way, fool.
Well, again, I think he should have had a response. I don't think that was the appropriate response. Chris Rock can crack jokes. I don't think maybe that, if knowing what I know now, that was not an appropriate joke.